What is going on? Holy moly. And as I get things ready to just take off on another crazy episode, some things to think about. Okay, so President Biden, he just vetoed a bill aimed at scrapping a rule by the SEC that treats crypto holdings as liabilities. He believes this protects investors. I disagree. Let's get into it. First, treating crypto holdings as liabilities will stifle innovation. This rule places additional burdens on companies dealing with crypto, making it harder for startups and smaller companies to thrive. Why are we driving businesses out of the United States, Joe Biden? 2, it also limits investor access to diverse assets by treating crypto holdings as liabilities. The rule makes crypto investments less attractive for retail investors. It is going to alienate a whole group of people. It restricts their ability to diversify portfolios and take advantage of the potential growth in the crypto market. We know the bull market is here. And the SEC rule unfairly targets cryptocurrency in comparison to all the other assets. Traditional financial assets are not treated as liabilities. Why should crypto be treated differently? It's inconsistent, it's unfair, it's discriminatory, and the baboonery of Joe, Elizabeth, and Gary is legendary as they usher in overregulation. Is it time to take your business overseas to more favorable environments? We are about to lose our competitive edge in the new world. The fix? Begin the focus on education and awareness to help investors understand the risks and benefits of crypto investments. Well-informed investors can make sound decisions like adults. We do not need the government to decide where to invest. Thank you, but no thank you. These are assets, not liabilities. The sooner you can realize that, the more effective and dynamic this market can become. Crypto brings speed, lower cost, and better security. We are not even aligning with the global standards and practices regarding crypto regulations. It's comical if you pause for a moment to consider how profound this moment is, and we are missing the boat. Biden, you have officially lost your way, stepped in the wrong direction. Holy moly. Can Trump save us? Leave some comments in this. Leave some comments. I will not read them. We are about to get into it. Thank you guys for tuning in on this Sunday. I hope you have enjoyed your weekend. Take this time to rest, relax. We are about to get into it. Okay, what is going on here? There we go. I hope you guys are doing absolutely fabulous. I'm trying to do probably too many things at the same time. Sorry, I had that rant to kick stuff off, but that is how we do it. Chaos to clarity, noise to narrative. It is already June 2nd, and it is time for some rare bits. Now, so even before we get into all the stuff, one of my favorite news stories that I've seen come across my desk is how North Korea has decided to deal with their trash. I don't know what we can learn from this, but it just makes me smile. So North Korea is taking all of their trash and they are inflating giant balloons. They're attaching the trash to the balloons. They're letting wind do what nature will do. And all of this stuff just flows straight into South Korea. So they're just inflating balloons, sending the trash south, and South Korea does not know what to do with it. So these farmers, like these balloons are landing everywhere in South Korea, just filled with trash. So, it's how do we deal with the problems? It's not what problems do we have, it's how do we deal with them? Let's get into some rare bits. Okay, the Crypto Greed and Fear Index today, it is up 1 from yesterday, which makes me smile. We're coming in at a 73. NFT sentiment it has actually moved. That's why I'm reporting on it, because usually it just remains sedentary. It is back down to neutral. Top crypto search term. I talk about it in this podcast all the time. It is Notcoin, ticker sign NOT. It is up 291% on the 7-day. We've been talking about it. That's all we can do is talk about it. And what's interesting, this is not one of these meme pump and dump coins. This is going to have some legs. It may retract in price, but the narrative behind it is strong, so it is worth putting on your list of things to watch. Top crypto surge term for the normies is Trump NFT. Bitcoin dominance, it is up for the 24 hours. Ethereum dominance has slid a bit. Total crypto market cap has also slid about 0.48% in the last 24 hours, coming in at $2.58 trillion. We have El Salvador's new president is in. Ticker sign BRET, Brett. It has just broken 1 billion market cap. And what's interesting about it is this is the coin on base. I think it is the first coin to do it. Biden loses touch. I mentioned, if you guys were listening, I went on a rant before we kind of got the show started. I think Biden has lost his way. I think, you know, again, just leave word in the comments. I'm not going to read them. And before we get into more news, let's check on some numbers for the nerd and nerdinos. And what do we have? We are looking at the crypto heat map at the moment. And the big thing of interest is always the Bitcoin. And it is green for the moment. We like to see it, while ETH and a couple of the other coins look like they're all doing some retracement. But let's get into the numbers. Bitcoin is currently trading at $68,215. Ethereum, $3,800. We were so close to that 4,000 mark, but it has come back down. BNB trading at 602. We've been charting this in the podcast since about 300. I love it above 600. Solana is 165. Do we get all-time highs? How far are we off? Everybody keep in mind, Solana is still up 643% on the year. Absolutely beautiful movement. Looking at blockchain NFT sales by volume, in the lead at the moment, we have Ethereum, followed by Bitcoin, Solana, Polygon, and Immutable rounding out the top 5. Anything else notable? Blast has slid down to round 8. Ronin blockchain is down to 12. And you know what? We have, where did it go? I do not see it on the list at the moment. You know what? And it could be a smaller list. I was looking for Phantom blockchain because I just keep hoping that they're going to kick up dust, but it looks like they have collapsed. They did not collapse. The list only goes up to 20. I'm sure Phantom comes in at 21 at the moment. Looking at the Ethereum NFT heat map, Pudgy Penguins seem to be leading the way. We have a bunch of green on the top collections, which is good to see. What are the big movers? We have Azuki, Bored Ape Yacht Club, Pudgy Penguins, Mutant Ape Yacht Club, and Meme Land rounding out the top 5. What's red? Azuki is red on floor price, but dramatically up on volume. What does that mean? Maybe there is some news that I do not know about causing all of this movement. The volume is up about 300% on the 24 hours. Everything else is kind of flat. We have Pudgy Penguins. They also have quite a bit of movement with some price drops. So again, I'm not sure exactly what is happening. Is this just people trading for diamonds? Is it wash trading? We don't know. We're not even going to get into it. We're not going to throw accusations around it all. And look at that. Looking at some of the top sales on the Ethereum side of things, we have a beautiful Spirit Azuki just sold for 100 Ethereum, ladies and gentlemen. NFTs are dead. Well, this person just paid $375,000 for a digital piece of art on the blockchain. Are they crazy? Does it make sense? I think it is a really interesting time to be looking at some of these long-term plays, crypto punks with their historical value. Always worth a look. If you are interested, start watching price. See something that you like, write the price down, check on it in a month, check on it in 6 months. Could you have made a bag of money? Would you have lost your shirt? Do you think digital art is here to stay? We are looking at the heat map for salami side of things, and the biggest mover is Mad Lads, but they are trading flat while we see some green and red. What does it all mean? Mutemon is doing just a shit ton of volume, 3,624 trades in the last 24 hours. But keep in mind, okay, so, and they're not even on the list anymore. So I would say maybe a month and a half ago, we had a collection called Froganas, and they were the trader favorite. and at their peak, right? And it wasn't even peak market. It was kind of just the start of magic starting to happen in the space. The Frog-Annas, they were doing between 12 and 14,000 trades every 24 hours. So the top trader collection at the moment is Mutant, and it's only digesting about 3,624 trades per every 24 hours. So you can see the volume is drastically down across the ecosystem. Again, are these times to just get in and load up on some art that you really love, some collections that you believe in, and start stacking? I don't know. It's not my call. That's why I'm throwing it out there. Again, leave it in the comments. I'm not going to read any of them. Looking at the top moving collections, we have Mad Lads just cranking all over the place, which we love to see. We have some Mad Lasses ruling the roost. We have a Galaxy Mad Lad. Just real quick, looking at the price difference. So we have a Mad Lass selling for about 104 salamis, while the Mad Lads are selling for the high 80s. We love to see that. And we have a Klano in the top 10, which we love to see, sold for 78 sold. That is $13,246 on the day of that purchase. Looking at the top 5 moving collections in the Bitcoin NFT ecosystem, Node Monkeys, the Frux. Oh, good. Okay, so Runestone, Bitcoin Puppets, and OMB. Now, I think the first time we talked about the Frux, my comment on them was, oh, they're green puppets. And at the time, they were trading about $500. The sales in the last 24 hours have been about 723. There's 7 pending. The floor price has gone up about $400. So if you bought one of these Frux, these green pups, AKA Frux, you are doing well and pretty happy. So what's interesting, we've got the Frux and the pups. Same thing, just different colors. Are we going to see the Frux pull attention away from the pups? Maybe our people are tired of the pups and they want to fuck with Frux. And we see Frux begin to start taking some of this steam away from the Bitcoin puppets. I don't know what's going to happen. And this is another interesting thing I want to comment on super quick. Is as far as a lot of these Bitcoin assets, a lot of these collections were doing just a crazy amount of airdrops. And all of this was pre-Bitcoin halving. Now that the halving has happened, has the initiation to distribute thanks to the holders, has that died off? If you guys are receiving allocations for anything, let me know in the comments. I'm not going to read them. And also, like, is there just a loss of utility across the board? If NFTs are not thriving and being a part of this community, part of the advantage was to get insight into new and upcoming things. If these new and upcoming things tend to dry up, does the utility disappear, and are we going to see price impact moving forward? These are questions for you, right? Just you. That's it. Looking at the top sales for the Bitcoin ecosystem. Wow, we have a nice Node Monkeys 1765. A gold Node Monkey sold for 0.9 Bitcoin. On that day, that was about 61,000 US dollar. A couple Node Monkeys sold. And nice, we have OMBs. And again, that one green eye, which I love to see. It just means that the higher end of this OMB collection, the more coveted assets are starting to trade hands. And it always makes me happy because usually these are traders that want to get into the collection, and that makes me happy to see. Looking at the Runes collection, again, this is on Magic Eden. They continue to update their UX and UI. I especially like looking at it when the top 5 have turned green. Percentage-wise, Epic is number 5 as far as volume, but it has risen 23% in the last 24 hours. So that is noteworthy to me, while the top 5 are Fihu, Doggo to the Moon, Arsic Genesis, Pups World Peace, and Epic. So what is interesting, Doggo to the Moon is up about 2% on the 24 hours. It has seen some robust growth over the past, I guess, about 3 or 4 days. We had a lump in the Bitcoin Runes protocol, and collections were read across the board for, I don't know, 4 or 5 days, maybe longer of reporting. We did have some blips here and there, but it does seem that these top collections have turned around. Do you guys think they are finding footing to continue to propel them forward? Again, leave comments. I will not read any of them. And we have some notable art sales, which is always good to see. Again, Chromie Squiggles, there have been a lot of movement in that ecosystem. So the Chromie Squiggles on the bottom end are trading for about 3.95 Ethereum. We have Winds of Yarwanawa from Rafiq Anadol. We just have some Videns. We have some good stuff in there. So if you guys are interested in that, I am pulling this up on deepnftvalue.com. They have some interesting stuff. They always do. So this is a two-part thing, and I need to... So I wanted to, again, and this is one of the things that is, it's not frustrating. Well, it can be. It can be absolutely maddening. So one of the things about this space is that I wake up at 4:30 in the morning to put these reports together, and literally by the time I'm done all of my shit and get ready to post it by 8 o'clock or whatever, everything's changed. So some days it drastically changes. So I just like to throw that out there as these were the top coins this morning. And there's not a ton of change, but as far as volume goes, right, Pepe is just leading the way. Though it's turned red, it's down for about 4% in the 24 hours. They're just doing a shit ton of volume. It is, in my opinion, we are going to have a couple coins that become the mainstays. And we don't know what it's going to be yet. Is it going to be the Pepe? Is it going to be Dog with Hat? Is it going to be something lower down the totem pole like Mog? Is it going to be a newcomer like Mother? Is it going to be Rich? Like, there's a bunch of contenders, and we will know over the coming months and definitely getting through the summer, the coins that can last kind of through the doldrums of summer, they will continue to emerge victorious. And there's always going to be 2 or 3 that make it into the next cycle, right? That really outperform everybody else. Where are you guys going to put your money on it? It seems like a bunch of the normies are banking on Pepe. It seems to be relatable, manageable, digestible, easy story, ton of movement. It's growing and growing, so it has been nice to watch that move. We have Arbitrum, Dog with Hat, Ondo, and Jasmy Coin all moving for volume. The only ones that are in the green are Ondo Finance and Jasmy Coin. These are new contenders to the ecosystem. Ondo Finance is a really interesting protocol. It is worth looking into. I see continued movement on that. It's up 8% on the 24 hours. It's had good movement recently. Now, looking at just the absolute skyrocketers, we have Floyd Mayweather, Trog, pew, pew, pew. If I had to pick 3 words to inspire somebody, they would be pew, pew, pew. Like, it's just, right? It doesn't get any better than that. So let me circle back on this shit. I get sidetracked really easy today. So Floyd Mayweather. So 2 days ago, maybe it was even 3 days ago, Caitlyn Jenner had launched her coin. There was some other things happening, and I happened to see a video of Floyd Mayweather putting a post out. I may have been on Instagram, and he put a post out saying, "Yo, Sahil, like, let's get it going." So at that same time, there was just this shitstorm of activity throwing Sahil under the bus because supposedly he is a notorious dev, and he is not in it for the right reasons. He's in it for his bags, and I guess whatever celebrity has chosen to work with him, he tends to take care of them, but understand he is not taking care of anybody properly. His stuff is done maliciously, blah, blah, blah. So all this shit is going down on social media about Sahil and his intent and activities. At that same time, I think Mayweather was in Dubai saying, "Yo, let's do this." So I think there were several attempts at intervention trying to get Floyd to take a different approach to this. And you go to bed, wake up the next morning, and everything changes. So the Floyd Mayweather coin came out, ticker sign FLOYD. It cranked up about 2,000%. And what's interesting is the moment I saw that, I hopped on social media, right? And I saw a post from Zach XBT, just like, yeah. So the coin's already been deleted. Like, Floyd just literally throws his name onto a piece of currency, throws it out there for anybody who's on social media. He waits for it to run up, then he sells his entire allotment of it, and he's walking away with millions. So there are a couple things here. And I said this on another space and almost got thrown off, but there's this interesting saying, don't hate the player, hate the game. And so what I'm trying to say here is this, is we understand that these people of notable, credible social scores, whatever their Richter scale, whatever Richter scale they bring to this ecosystem, the idea is, can they shake it? And if they can, they're going to have a reaction, and that reaction goes up and the reaction also goes down. And if you are in this space and seasoned and understand these metas, is it an opportunity to ride the wave? And the trick, I think, with a lot of this shit is don't get greedy on it. We know the prognosis is up and down, period. Right? Very few. I said maybe we're going to have 2 or 3 that will make it out of this cycle and really bring some true value and utility to the community holders long term. In the meantime, all of these that are going to go up and crash and burn, there is play, there is activity in there, there is social sentiment to watch. And this is where, in my opinion, the technical analysis a lot of times goes out the window. Because this is a sentiment. This is a social, you're watching movement on the blockchain, but it is a social, interactive idea that you're watching transform. And when people get tired of digesting it, they're going to turn the page. Sometimes they turn the page quicker than others, but they will inevitably turn the page when something else more interesting comes along. So watching these cycles, you have an opportunity to get in and get out. And even if you're late to the game and you see something take off, in my opinion, there is room to get in, and maybe you sit and watch it and get out 40 minutes later. And I don't know what it is. It's calculated risk always, but there are plays to be had. So my point is that I saw Floyd was getting ready to launch a coin. Could I have sat on his socials and watched? And the minute that the contract address came up, yes, aped in on it and probably could have done well. It went up 1,700% in a very short amount of time. Does that represent an opportunity to get in and out? It does if you're smart. It does if you're using good trading tools. There are some ways to make it quicker, faster, and easier for you. Read my Substack to figure out what those are. But there are predictable things that will happen, and all of these Richter scales that will enter the ecosystem because now there's chum in the water. Other people are seeing, hey, we can make a quick buck here. People with Richter scales are coming. And are you interested in riding that wave? And if so, you can do well, but do it cautiously. On the tail end, on the terrible side of things, I guess one of the biggest downside, Boop, I'm not familiar with that. That is on Arbitrum, but one up from Boop, sandwiched in between Air Doge and Boop, is Caitlyn Jenner on Solana. Again, this was a coin that ran up, and at some point, Caitlyn decides, you know what, I'm going to drop this on Ethereum too, and that was the buzzkill, right? That was the signal. I'm greedy, in my opinion. You launch on Solana, you create this community, let that Solana community rally around what you're doing, and you have super fans. As soon as you try and dip your toes in all the pools, you're going to be stanky. And is that what happened? I don't know. So are we going to see this climb? Are we going to see it decline? It is not up to me. And next up, we have El Salvador's president, Nayib Bukele. It is awesome to see him secure his run and continue to innovate the mindset of people. He literally, I think, long-term prognosis, we are possibly looking at one of the great stories that is about to be written by this country when Bitcoin goes parabolic. The transformation that Naibo will have provided for this country's infrastructure, long-term prognosis, ability to interact and become a global player is going to be tremendous in my view. So it is really nice to see this happening. What's also brilliant is we have other nations like Argentina. People are reaching out to him and saying, how can we duplicate what you're doing? And it is catching on, and it is the exact thing we want to happen. Sorry. Okay, excuse me. Next up, Brett, ticker sign BRET. It hits 1 billion market cap. It is on base. It is drawing comparison to some established meme coins like Doge and Shiba Inu. Again, the shiny object, the narrative. We never know what's going to happen. Just when something settles in and you think, okay, this is going to run, some other Richter scale shows up and affects everything. Right, and the attention goes. It is so unpredictable. I love to see new contenders. I love to see these new blockchains or these new layers, right, on established blockchains continuing to innovate and thrive in new ways. It's nice to see people get involved in this. Brett, you know what? Actually, if you're watching along, this is Chainlink. Where's Brett? Man. Did I not include it? All right, so I apologize. I got sidetracked for a second. So I believe in my Substack. I was just gonna comment. So my thought process is this, is Brett. I don't know a ton about it. It caught me by surprise. I'm not doing stuff particularly on base. I mean, I'm on and off of it, but I haven't devoured content there. I haven't spent specific time devouring analytics there. It has not been where my focus and attention has been. So what I love about this is, Brett, okay, now we have a coin over there that has 1 billion market cap. Now it's noteworthy. All of a sudden it attracts some attention. So I started thinking, okay, the name's not a killer for me. It's Brett. Pepe is way better, right? It's just from a name. And when I was thinking about when I put my Substack together this morning, actually the meme face that they selected for Brett, maybe it's funny, but now that I think about it, you're gonna have to go to my Substack to see it, but it might just be a bluish Pepe. So good for you if you're a holder of this. Leave comments if you're a holder. Let me know how early did you get in. Again, I'm not gonna read any of it. Next up, Chainlink. Okay, so what are we seeing here with this chart? Are we seeing opportunity? Are we seeing disaster? I think it could be jetting up 300 to 600, 700%. I don't know. I don't know what the time frame is on that is going to be, but just against Bitcoin, it is looking really, really bullish. It's nice. There's kind of several sentences in my Substack about kind of what Chainlink is doing at the moment. And we are looking at Bitcoin breakout possibilities. Again, I still think we are going to travel sideways for a bit, but in my Substack, I always include technical analysis from several different people that I follow in the space. And I particularly like it when I find, and they often are, contradictory opinions of where we go. And what's interesting is all of that is based on technical analysis. I like to look at the technicals that all of these people provide, as well as this social component, which a lot of time these technical people don't get because they do not spend the amount of time on social media that I do, in the trenches, so to speak, listening on spaces, talking to individuals live. So there is there's an analysis and an aspect that I can bring to this, which is exciting. So seeing these shifts are really good. I don't know. Put Chainlink on your radar. And we have President Biden. He has just put the kibosh on progress, in my view. I kind of went off on it at the top of the show. I'm not going to get into it again. But it's depressing to me. It really is. And next up, we have Coinbase and the SEC. They're battling each other because, let's just say, the SEC is being looked at with a different eye at the moment. And the initial microscope lens that they have switched to, they've switched the dial around, and now it is overreach. And when you look at how things have been stifled, the growth that is being pushed out of our country is overwhelming. This is damage. This This is damage that should anger a lot of people, especially younger people. This is damage to our ability to be involved in this ecosystem moving forward. Imagine if they restricted the internet and said you cannot utilize the internet. This is bigger than that. In the long-term play, this is a bigger change, in my view, than the internet was. It's amazing. I don't know. So people need to vote responsibly, respectfully, and all that stuff. We have a new partnership announced with Magic Leap and Google, which is interesting. These glasses are supposed to be the rival to what Apple has put out. And what's interesting, I saw early prototypes of these models from a company, I think they were in Dubai, but I've just been kind of following this. I don't know if the initial company that came up with the initial designs, as you can tell, I love glasses, but I was just following kind of the technical back end of this as the design and the product development kind of occurred. So watching this transpire to where it is, to their partnership with Google, is super exciting to see. I think they just, I don't know. So Google, these guys are getting on board. And when they start throwing numbers around, I mean, is it even worth throwing numbers around? But they're just saying we're going to be looking at $1.6 trillion worth of activity by 2030, which, like, what does that even mean? What it means is all of that 1.6 trillion that is going to be moved around is going to be fucking digital currency. What are we fucking doing? It's crazy to me. It really is fucking crazy to me. And we have Chamath. He's just an influential, forward-thinking individual. He suggests countries should think about adopting Bitcoin to change their ways. He is on board with a lot of the things that Nayib Bukele says. So I am a fan of all of these people just looking at Bitcoin as this game changer. It has the ability to change lives. The secret sauce for today is bloom where you are planted. Growth can happen anywhere, even in unexpected places. Still craving crypto clarity? Subscribe to my Substack today. I put it out every single morning. Warning, rare bits may cause hodling.